So let's explore how we can create a bit of a custom label design here on our Y scale. So let's start to look how to create a custom design for the scale label. So first of all, we need to rotate this, and by the way, I'm using here the border template, which you can find here on chartjs3.com getting started. So once you have the border template, first thing that we're going to do is we're going to change it into a horizontal bar chart. So I'm going to say here in the options index axis, this will be equal the Y. If I save that, you can see here now this is being swapped, and what we want to do is we want to cover this nicely. To do this, we have to create a custom plugin. So I'm going to say a plugins, and we can say here this will be our label design. I'm going to copy this, and then I'm going to say here constant to create our plugin. We'll say ID equals the label design, and then I'm going to say here before draw. Basically what we want to do, we want to draw this before anything else. Let's put in chart arcs and plugins. Alright, so then what I want to do here is a object destructuring. If you're not familiar with object destructuring, please check out my video of understanding object destructuring for Chart.js. And what we want to do here is basically we want to get the CTX. We might want to have the data, the scales, I guess X and Y should be as well in here. So once we have this, what I want to do here is say ctx.save to save the variables above, and then what I want to do is start creating, let's say, a button style design for this. To do that, what I need to do here is first of all give it a color. So let's say ctx.fill style, and this fill style will be a blackish color. So I'm just going to grab this color here. But I want to make sure that this is, because this is the background color, so I will make it not black fully, but transparent black. Next, ctx.stroke style, and that will be for the border color. And the border color, we could just make it black, but with solid border color, or solid black. Next, we want to have the line width, so I'm going to say here ctx.line width for the thickness of these borders. We can put in here 1 pixel. So once we have this, if I refresh, of course nothing happens yet. Next, what I want to do is I want to start drawing the shape. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to say ctx.round rectangle, and this here allows to create, or gives us the option to create a rectangle with rounded borders, which is a built-in feature which is very useful. So what I'm going to do here is I will start at, well, basically is the x coordinate, the y coordinate, and then we have here the width, the height, and then the radius. So this here is basically defining how many pixels rounded borders we have. So first of all, here for the x, let's start with 0. So we want to start at the very beginning. And then for the y is basically depending on the position of the scale. For that, I'm going to use a special built-in functionality. So I say y dot get pixel for value, and this for now index 0, because this bar is considered now index 0. So then we have the width, and the width should be basically from this point all the way to there. So what we could do here is quite simple, is get the scale width, or at least not even the scale width, but the ending point of the scale, which would be here on the right side. So we're going to say here on the y scale, because we're working with the y scale, and then we say here dot right. If I save that, then we have the height here. Since by default the pixels here is always 12 pixels, we could say maybe 20 pixels in height. That should be fine. And then the radius, which is an array value, we're going to put in here a straight 4 pixel radius. If I save this, refresh, nothing happens. And the reason why nothing happens is because we need to draw it. So far we didn't draw it. We only did here, this is the intention tool, not the command to draw. So what we're going to do now is going to draw first the borders. So say ctx.stroke. This will draw the borders. Alright. So number 1, you can see here, this border is slightly thinner. So we probably have to move our item here later a little bit to the right. Next, what I want to do is the background color. So we're going to say ctx.fill, and that will create the background color. Save this, refresh, there we are. Alright, so now we have this, but if you look very carefully, we have a double effect here. So the reason for this is something is bleeding over to other items. So to avoid this, we want to say we're going to create a new shape that is independent of any other shape to avoid this bleeding effect. So I'm going to say ctx.beginPath, save, refresh, and now it will not anymore bleed over to other elements or shapes. So now what I want to do is I want to position this correctly. You can see here the position is not correct, and we could probably say here we have to move 1 pixel to the right. So what I'm going to do here, instead of 0, I'll just make it 1. No, number 1. Refresh, and I think that's slightly better. Then I want to push it up. How much I want to push it up? Well, we know our height is 20. So what would make sense is just to push it up with 10 pixels. So I do here minus 10, because we're going up is closer to the 0, going down is increasing. So if I do this, as you can see here, it now pushes nicely up. So now what I want to do here is I want to reduce this here. I guess that the right side is not really the most desirable one, but probably you have the width. So what I'm going to do here, let's put in here y.width, refresh. Oh, I guess that's identical, so then it doesn't matter. In this case, we can just keep right. However, what we do need is deduct the amount of pixels. This here, these tick marks, is approximately 8 pixels. So what I can do here is I'm going to say minus, we can say minus 8, but we move this also 1 pixel to the right. So maybe minus 9 would make more sense. Save that, refresh. There we are. So now it covers it nicely. And what I want to do now is I want to loop through all of these items. So what I'm going to do now is create a function, or not even a function, but a for loop, or a for each loop. And that's why we have the data here. This data will lead us to the labels, and since we have 7 labels, we can for loop them all. So what I'm going to do here, or for each data or label, we will loop them. So we're going to say here, data.datasets index 0 dot, oh, not even like that, sorry, my bad. It is from data directly to labels, as you can see here. So labels, and then dot for each. Then we can say here for every label, I'm going to do also the index, because we also need the index number. So for every label and the index, we're going to loop through this, and what I want to do now is just cut this entire item, put it in there. Save that, refresh. Alright, so now we have this, but as you can see here, we're looping it within one single position. So let's copy this, put that in here, for the index, save, refresh, and there we are. So this is quite nice, but what you could do as well is harden, or at least make the font a bit more clear. So what I'm going to do here is just on the scales, just for finalizing it, I'm going to say here scales, we're going to say here ticks, because we want to have the ticks, and then we're going to say here font, color, let's make this white, save, refresh. Alright, that doesn't work. Font, ticks, let me check. After some checking, I realized it is not really correct like this, because these will go directly on the ticks like this. So if I save that, refresh, there we are. But let's make this bold as well, and maybe we can give it a bit darker color. So I'm going to do it like this, save, and then I'm going to say here, comma, font, and then we say here, weight equals bold. Save, refresh, there we are. And now we have these lookalike button versions on our Y scale.